This video might actually change your life because we are just going right into it. This is going to be raw, non-edited. I'm just going to tell you guys straight how I was able to become profitable and everything that I learned along the way and everything that helped me to go over the obstacles that I face as, becoming a profitable trader. And like I said, this is unedited. So if I mess up, I mess up. I'm just trying to tell you guys straight how it is without all those fancy edits and all that good stuff, because it's just getting oversaturated on YouTube, and I'm just not like that. I really don't care. I just care about trading and telling you guys exactly how I became profitable in this video. So let's get right into the video. Risk management was probably one of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing that I had to, overcome. And it's not just risk management, like where to place your stop loss, stuff like that. I would be super consistent and I would make $100 here, $100 here, and it was big money for my account. And then next thing you know, I lose $400 after 2 weeks of a consistent growth, which just messes with your head so much because you felt like you wasted all that time, that 2 weeks, just to literally lose all of that time in one single day. It sucked. I hated that because you do all this work for, 1, 2, 3 weeks, and you think that you're finally profitable. Next thing you know, the next day you literally come right back to break even, or maybe even negative. Because I had those days where I make $100, $100, $100. Next thing you know, I'm down $1,200 on a day, and I literally give back the entire month plus some. And like that literally was the problem. But at the same time, when I look back on that, it's like, was I actually consistent? I was consistent, but was I sticking to my stop loss? Was I sticking to my risk management? Maybe, maybe not. Was that the reason why I was super consistent? Because I would just avoid my stop loss, and the one time it doesn't work, I'm down huge on the day. It could have been that, right? As I look back on that, because I always thought to myself that I was like a super consistent person from the beginning, but now you look back on it, it's like, there's probably a reason why you were consistent in the first place. Maybe because you weren't respecting your stop loss. So that was the biggest problem. I hated taking losses. And honestly, it's not even me hating taking a loss. It's just the fact that I don't want to lose money. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I did all this work. And if I take a loss, that just like, I felt like I just lost like mentally. Like, oh, I did all this work and I still lost and stuff like that. It's weird. It's just literally mindset that was the problem. And the way that I fixed that was literally thinking that I am a dog. Now, it sounds so weird. Like, okay, like this guy's crazy. This guy's insane. Click off the video. No, listen. The same way that you treat a dog, how to actually act, what do? You give it a treat every single time that it follows the plan, right? Right? You guys are seeing exactly where I'm getting at here. Because if you follow the plan, whether it's a stop or whether it's a take profit, you should reward yourself if you stick to your plan and lose. Because if you stick to your plan, you know that you're not going to win 100% of the time. You know you're probably not going to win 95% of the time, right? But you know you might win 70, 75%. But why are you not rewarding yourself for sticking to your stop loss? So now, subconsciously, if you don't reward yourself for sticking to your stop loss and taking the loss, and you beat yourself up over it, why do you think your body and your mind is going to be okay with you taking a loss? And that was my biggest problem. Every time I took a loss, mentally, I just had a war inside my head because I did not want to take a loss. So every time I stuck to the plan, I wasn't rewarding myself just like you're rewarding a dog, right? You give the dog a treat every time it sticks to the plan. If you wanted to, do whatever, you give it a treat. Every time it goes to the bathroom outside, you give it a treat, right? Every time, just potty train the dog. It's the same thing with trading. If you only reward yourself when you win and when you stick to your take profit plan, but you never reward yourself for actually taking the loss that was part of your plan, you are hurting yourself subconsciously. You need to reward yourself for being able to stick to your plan when you take a loss. Because as soon as you're able to do that, that's when your brain's like, okay, I stuck to my plan and I still feel good, right? I took a loss, but I'm still good because I know it's part of my plan. Instead of beating yourself up over that. And that is one of the most important and crucial things as to why I am sitting here right now making this YouTube video, being a profitable trader, because it's literally that mindset switch. Treating yourself like training a dog. And it sounds so weird, but I already explained it. Like it's just the concept of that, the mindset aspect of that. And it just carried over everything else though. If I keep, you know, if I keep taking 5% gains when every time that wasn't part of my plan, but I'm still rewarding myself for being up on the day, then again, your mind and your body is going to be like, well, we're still good here. We're still good here. You're giving me that dopamine rush. You're giving me that 5% gains. I'm up in the day. Let's go. Like, even though I didn't stick to my take profit plan, I'm up 5%. I'm good to go. I'm green is green. No, if you didn't stick to your plan, green is not green and red is not red. You need to stick to your plan. Just like train the dog on your losses, you got to train the dog on your winners. You need to make sure that you're not celebrating when the dog didn't go to the bathroom outside. You made 5% gains, but your take profit was all the way up there, and you should have stuck to your plan if that was part of your plan, or however you trade. You can't give a dog a treat when it didn't do what you were supposed to do in the first place. So that's just my mindset that carries over with just trading in general. And like I said, this is just unedited. I'm just telling you from the top of my head exactly how I became profitable, no fancy edits and stuff like that. Like, there's just no point of that. I'm just telling you guys straight. Now, the second thing was just optimization. Like I said, with the 5% gains, I used to be like that, to where I would just take quick profits and just move on, and my losses would just be way bigger than my gains. I felt like when I took a loss, I would need like 2 to 3 gains, 2 to 3 good trades just to make that back. And it's just so weird because it's like, I'll take a 5-10% loss and I'm like, all right, but then my next like 2-3 trades, it's like I'm just finally break even, when it should be the opposite. Like, it was so weird. And I just, yes, 10%, so you need to make 10% more and stuff like that. But every single time that I got into a trade, it just felt like I needed to take profits at like that 5% mark, 10% mark, because that's only where that stock wanted to go. Like, I could not really hold it that long. And I think optimization is probably one of the biggest things as well, because if a trade ran 80%, you're not going to be able to catch the whole thing. But you need to be able to optimize it better, because if you're selling 50% at 5% gains, and then you leave the rest to break even, and then it hits your break even like 50% of the time and stuff like that, and your stop loss is negative 10%, like, that risk to reward, it seems cool and stuff like that, because that 50% could literally keep running and running, but it's not going to really do anything. Like, you got to think about, if you had $10,000 and you made 10%, that's $1,000. If you lost 10%, that's negative $1,000. But if you made 5% and you took 50% off, right? So that's that $5,000, and you made 5%, which is $250. So now you only have $5,000 left of that position. So now if you made 10%, guess what happens? You just made 10% on the $5,000, which means you made $500, which means that whole trade is only $750 gain, when your other loss was $1,000 loss, right? So even if this thing runs to 20%, right? 20% of $5,000 is $1,000, but you only made $1,250, right? You only made an extra $250 versus your loss, which is good, right? That's not bad at all. But in order for you to optimize it correctly, you need to make sure that you're not selling way too early and just trimming way too early or way too fast. Like, trimming can actually hurt you, right? And I've learned through, honestly, like the past 2 weeks myself, like, optimization is so important. Like, I knew that, but the way that I've been optimizing lately is so crucial to why my gains have been so much higher percentage wise on my account as well. Like, I literally up today, like, I'm up 6.5% today. 6.5% today on my account, which is, as you get bigger and bigger, like your account size get bigger and bigger, it is so much harder to do that. And it's insane that I'm able to put up those numbers. And it's just because, like, my average trades now, I'm not trimming until, sometimes if the trade really is not going to keep going, then I'm, out at 10%. But for majority, I'm not really selling any of it until like 25%. Like, I'm not trimming or anything, because it's like, all right, well, we're here, and, I'm waiting for it just to go to that next dollar or that next area. Because it's like, it can only go one or two ways. And if Tesla's looking super weak and I'm looking at that 5 minute and it's still looking super weak, why am I going to sell? And I think about it this way. If I'm in puts right now, would I get calls? Yes or no? If the answer is no, why am I selling? The only way the stock is going is up or down, right? So if I'm not thinking if I know that I would not get calls here and I'm in puts, then why am I selling puts, right? Why am I giving people my puts? Because when you sell it, you're giving it to someone else. Why am I selling my puts? Now, if I'm in calls and we're running, and a little pullback, and then we keep going, would I get puts right here? Yes or no? And if it's no, then why am I selling calls? And that just helps me to stay in a lot longer. And it's literally mindset. Literally, the strategy is not the hardest thing about trading. It's literally mindset and just how you think about it. And that's literally, I made 30%. No trims, no nothing, full position size, 30%. Do you know how big that is? 30% on my position size. Like, that's huge. And I'm just a scalper, right? So I usually look for that like 10, 15% gains. But when I'm at that 15% gains, usually I'm already like half out or something like that. I just think trimming really does hurt a lot of people, especially if you're doing it the wrong way. And it's weird. Like, oh, you need to get the cash flow for the business and stuff like that. Okay, but you need to stick to your plan as well. Like, you can't get out, oh, I just need to take some profits. I just need to take some profits. For what? Literally, like, if you're doing that, that means you're trading off your P&L. Is it or is it not? Because if you're trying to get the cash flow for the business, are you trading off your P&L or are you trading off the chart? And you really got to think to yourself like that. I'll trim based on the chart. I'll trim if I actually see buyers coming in when I was in puts, stuff like that. I'm trimming based off of the chart. Are you trimming based off a percentage? Are you trimming based off your P&L? Like, you want to get cash flow for the business, yes, but you want to also stick to your plan. Trading is literally about sticking to your plan. So if you were able to stick to your plan, the cash flow will follow. I'm proof of it. I made 30%, no trims, nothing like that. And it's not gambling, right? Because I'm looking at this, right? And for example, SPY was bouncing at 404.75 area and I got into calls. I saw it reclaim 405. I saw a pullback, retest 405 and continue. I'm subconsciously moving my stop loss up as the stock is moving up because there's no way I'm getting puts there, right? So if there's no way that I'm getting puts there, why am I going to get cash flow for the business when there's no point of trimming yet? Like, there's literally no point of trimming yet. This thing is just going to keep going. And if it doesn't, then I will react accordingly. But if it keeps going, I'm sticking to my plan because there's no point of selling if I just see a bunch of buyers keep coming in. I'm sticking to my plan. We are at a very, very high support level. Like, oh, I need to get cash flow for the business. I'm gonna trim here at 10%. For what though? Like, if the chart doesn't tell you that, don't do that. And again, literally how I became profitable is literally mindset. All of these things combined has just like made me profitable. And it's not like you'll just wake up and like, boom, right? But it's after months and years of just like consistently like just building up your mindset and just building up trading as a whole. Like, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but like it just comes to a point where it's like your mindset will flip and it's not like you don't care, but it's like you really are just focused on trading and you don't really care about the money as much. And that switch psychologically was the biggest difference ever. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of video with no edits and stuff like that. I just want to tell you guys literally how it is and just like how I feel, like how I became a profitable trader and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys subscribe and leave a like if you guys did. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.